Hi everyone, Bernard here, and I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to my film and TV channel today, and we have a Netflix. We have a Netflix. It's what we call a dramedy, isn't it? A comedy drama. It's been causing a little bit of friction. Let's say this. There's certainly friction concerning a certain lady called Taylor Swift. She's not in it, but yeah, you'll find out why. So we're going to have a look at a TV Netflix drama that's just streamed at the end of February, called Ginny and Georgia. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that subscribe on, push that bell notification if you like what you see. I try to inform and entertain as we go through these. It's not exactly my demographic, this, but you know me, I like all sorts of TV and film stuff. So yeah, I'll tell you now, I sort of quite enjoyed this, but it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. But we'll perhaps explore that a little bit more. Please, if you check my playlist, I do TV drama reviews, of course, film reviews, quizzes, lots of different things on there. And you'll also see stuff for my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if that's of any interest, if it's not, don't worry, there's loads of film and TV stuff. But if you know somebody who might be interested, please point in my direction. It's called the Citizen Channel. So I do things on past and present on my football team, Manchester City, quizzes and information vlogs, etc, etc. And we're trying to get to 800 subscribers by the end of March 2021. So as I'm doing this, we're at the 2nd of March, so I'm about 53, 54 away from that. So any help you can give me to get towards that 800, or anyone you can point in my direction, of your friends who might be interested, please, that'd be much appreciated. And please, if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, I do check every 3 or 4 days and try and follow everyone back on there, and post loads of stuff on there, of course. And all comments very welcome about this Ginny and Georgia. I don't want anything about, I'm at the age now where I don't understand some of this what I call prissiness, this little sort of, obviously Taylor Swift's a big girl at the end of the day. Yeah, perhaps comments have been made, etc. But life's short, and you got to get on with it. I'm sure she's not overly worried about it. But say we'll get on. If you got any comments, don't make any nasty comments. Just comments on the series as a whole. I mean, if you don't like the series, you don't like what Taylor's been said about Taylor Swift in it. One line, which to be honest with you, I watched the program and I missed it. So whether they've took it out, I'm not too sure here in the UK, but. Yeah, so please, all your comments are very welcome, constructive, please, and please, if you can't give us a comment, just give us a nice thumbs up. Anyway, I've sort of hinted at the problems, haven't I? So let's get on with it and tell you a little bit about this, right? Yeah, it's 10 episodes. Ginny and Georgia. They're all between 50 and 55 minutes, so very, very long. Obviously, we're used to that in the UK, but obviously I don't know how it airs in America in the US and stuff with all the various things. But it's classed as a comedy drama, and what we call a dramedy, isn't it, these days? What's it about? Well, if you don't, angsty and awkward 15-year-old Ginny Miller. So there you go. That's something I'm overly familiar with now. With my granddaughters are approaching that age. Certainly, eldest is anyway. So yeah, perhaps we've been there, haven't we? We've all been there ourselves. I mean, we've got to have a long memory like me. I'd have to have a long memory to back when I was 15. But hey, there you go. Ginny Miller often feels more mature than her 30-year-old mother. Yeah, the irresistible and dynamic Georgia Miller. After years on the run, Georgia desperately wants to put down roots in picturesque New England and give her family something they've never had. It looks like a wonderful place. I don't know where it was shot. I didn't look at that, but looks like a fantastic place to live. But it's not all carpool and kabuka, as Georgia's past threatens her and her family's new way of life. And Georgia will do anything to protect her family. Yes, there you go. Main actors and their characters: Brianne Howie as Georgia Miller, Nikki Rummel as the teenage Georgia Miller, Antonia Gentry as Ginny Miller, her 15-year-old daughter, Diesel LaTarocca as Austin Miller, Georgia's 9-year-old son and Ginny's younger half-brother, Jennifer Robertson as Ellen Baker, the Miller's neighbour, who is the mother of Marcus and Max. Yeah, Felix Mallard is Marcus, Ellen's teenage son. Sarah Waistglass is Maxine. She's obviously openly lesbian teenage daughter and the fraternal twin sister of Marcus. And of course becomes Ginny's new friend, as you expect, new best BFF, or whatever they call BGF, is it? I don't know what you call them now. Scott Porter also stars as Mayor Paul Randolph, one of the love interests, so I'll sort of say that now. And Raymond Black as Joe, the owner of the local farm cafe. So there you go. Rotten Tomatoes, well, they thought it was okay. They give it an approval rating of 68% based on 25 critic reviews. It averages out at 6.22 out of 10. And the website's critics consensus reads, if Ginny and Georgia can't quite pull off its tonally ambitious first season, it's at least entertaining to watch it try. Okay, I think that's a positive. Metacritic, yeah, they give the series a weighted average of 63%, 63 out of 100, based on 14 critics' reviews. And we did mention controversy, didn't we? Well, there's been 2 or 3 things that have caused controversy in this. It's a drama. It adds elements of comedy and satire, if you like. So there's little lines and little comments left about real life, about real people, etc. On the 25th of February 2021, the term Oppression Olympics, doesn't really mean much to me on its own, went viral on Twitter in response to a scene where the characters Hunter and Ginny used the term. The scene was received negatively by viewers who criticised its usage of stereotypes, calling the entire exchange embarrassing. And then the major thing that happened, the show fell into another controversy regarding a line from the final episode. I must have missed this because I'll have to go back and watch it again, because unless they've taken out of the UK streaming of this, I'm not too sure. But apparently the last episode, it's spoken by Ginny to her mother, you go through men faster than Taylor Swift. Fans branded the line misogynist and criticised it for slut-shaming the singer. The phrase respect Taylor Swift trended worldwide on Twitter. Of course it did. Following the fan outcry, the show's user ratings fell on multiple platforms, so some of these scores I'm going to give you tonight or today or whenever you're watching this, probably a little bit lower than they would have been if there's no mention of Taylor Swift. Obviously, Rotten Tomatoes score dropped. Internet Movie Database, the Metacritic and Google reviews all dropped in scores as a campaign, obviously, against the programme, and obviously mainly fueled by Taylor Swift fans by the looks of it. The series did also made some unflattering references to singers Lady Gaga and Lana Del Rey, but there's no uproar from their fans as far as I can see. There you go, but that probably says a lot, doesn't it? Internet Movie Database, yeah, it's still coming up with a 6.8 out of 10 rating, so that's not too bad. I mean, that's based on 4,763 scores and reviews that have been left. A lot of low marks on this one. I wonder why. Yeah, so obviously without the Taylor Swift thing, perhaps that could have been another point or 2 higher, who knows, but 6.8 out of 10 is not too bad. As I said, there's lots of 10s, there's lots of 1s, which, let's face it, if it wasn't anything to do with this programme, I always ignore, because obviously it's either people who might be connected with it or people who for some reason have got a downer on it, and that's obviously the case with this one. One I'm going to choose one reasonably worded positive, because as I say, I spent at least 5 or 10 minutes looking through these reviews, trying to find things relevant to you. It was very, very difficult. Love it on the 2nd of March 2021 wrote, in general, I love the show and hope there will be a season 2. And while I don't agree with the Taylor Swift line, I don't see that as a reason to cancel the show entirely. Absolutely not. Rather than focus on one line, why don't we look at all the incredible storylines and topics covered by the show? Can't wait for season 2. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm fairly sure we're going to get a season 2. And one reasonably argued negative, well, no, there isn't any, because I couldn't find any. So I just spent 10 minutes looking through, and all the 1 out of 10s, and there's nothing like 3 or 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 being constructive, let's say. So I just ignored them, because it's literally Taylor Swift orientated reviews on Internet Movie Database, and yeah, as long as they're happy, that's fair enough. It's obviously a version of trolling. I've seen it in various things, with YouTube, etc. But yeah, I'm not even going to give you a serious negative review, because there aren't any. It's just pathetic 1 out of 10s from people who obviously have just seen the Taylor Swift line, and that's their response. So I'm not even going to give you. I couldn't even find one. It's not that I'm not going to give you one. I just couldn't find one. I just couldn't find anyone who had a constructive reason apart from that line about Taylor Swift. So my little thoughts on it. I think you gauged some of them, haven't you? Yeah, I think there's some great characters in this. Very, very likeable, and it was a good, entertaining watch. I think I've let that out of the bag already. It's very sad that 2 or 3 lines in this thing have upset people, but that's the time we're living in, I suppose, and I don't particularly agree with it. As a 61-year-old, all this prissiness and whinging and crying is all a little bit alien to me, to be honest with you. I'm may be right, I may be wrong, who cares, everyone's got their own opinions, but I'm afraid it's just a little bit pathetic to me, to be honest with you. The old adage that all publicity is good publicity, whether bad or good, rings pretty true to me, and I'm sure celebrities like Taylor Swift, who did have something to say on this, I believe, but I've not read what she had to say because I had no interest whatsoever. I'm sure celebrities like Taylor Swift take any derogatory comments with a pinch of salt, or perhaps not, but let's face it, all she has to do is check out a bank balance and I'm sure it all fades away into obscurity, doesn't it? Nothing new, of course, in this. I'm not going to mention that girl's name again now. Nothing new, of course, in this storyline. Certain scenes an old fogey like me has sort of seen played out in many dramas and comedy dramas over the years, and we get the nice modern thing of flashbacks, don't we? And the younger characters played in this are very good, very like their older versions as well. So that's quite good. It doesn't look too silly, to be honest with you. And obviously we get that. We get lots of flashbacks, telling us a bit more of the backstories as the series continues, of course. And of course there's an edge to the characters, and there's a darkness there. Most of the younger ones are very, very good. Some butter wouldn't melt with some of them, but they all have the moments. But I think it's a really good, younger actors, but I think they all do a pretty good job in this. And as I say, it's mainly a younger cast anyway, although we do have 20-odd-year-olds playing 15-year-old characters, so obviously that helps, as far as the acting's concerned. But they're not all 20-odd-year-olds playing 15, but they just about get away with it. I wouldn't have thought, oh, she's older than that myself personally. And in fact, 2 or 3 of the girls I thought looked a lot younger than the 15 years they were supposed to be. I did like the way the stories grew and got more interesting and got a little darker with the flashbacks and gaining knowledge as the thing went through. And it just sort of a little bit quirky bits where you think it's all nicey, and then all of a sudden it goes off at a tangent and becomes a little bit more darker and interesting. And I think, but more overall, I think it's filmed in a very light, mainly positive way. I just enjoy the whole feel of the series. The mix of younger character storylines and the older character storylines is really good, and it does help the series. So that in theory, it's a program that the whole family can watch. Although it is a little bit racy and racy at times, I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. But of course, if you're watching with younger children, if you're watching your teenage children or your teenage grandchildren, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. So you have to perhaps prepare for that. But yeah, I mean that's it's modern, isn't it? It's a modern day thing. You've got to go with that. So yeah, as I say, I think it's a really good family watch. I think for all ages to sit and watch this as a family unit. I'm certainly, as you know, looking at me, I'm not in the demographic for this, of course, but I really did find it a great watch. As I say, I am very eclectic in my taste anyway, and I thought this was a great little series. I will recommend it to my good lady because she likes a good drama, and even though, obviously, as I said, perhaps the younger side of it doesn't go down as well, it's well worth a watch. For if you're out there and you're similar age to me and you don't usually watch these sort of things, I think it is a good watch. And second series, yes, hopefully there will be a second series, and I do look forward, and I will look forward to watching it. Whether it's got the legs for series after series, I'm not too sure. I don't think we'll be getting season after season on this, but you never know. You never know. As I say, once certain things are forgotten, perhaps they will do. And all credit to the characters. I think they did a great job. And as I say, obviously, they're certainly up to, obviously they do things different in America, don't they? I mean, these girls are, 15, 16, so, high school, college, there's different options, isn't it, if they did want to progress this thing, but obviously they may have to add certain little things into it to get a bit more longevity out of it, but no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very good. I would heartily recommend this series, as I say, and I don't worry too much about someone getting upset because they're called something, whether it's true or not. It's just a name, isn't it? It doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, my little rating for this, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, which, if you know my ratings, is pretty high and higher than most of the other scores, as I said. But I've not knocked any marks off for obviously the controversy, have I? But no, I thought it was a very, very good watchable series. I really enjoyed it. I watched it over 2 days, probably in about 2 halves. I watched one half one day and the other episodes the second day. And thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll have to go back and watch that last episode to see what that comment's in, or whether they took it out. I'm not too sure, but there you go. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. What we're going to do with the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps you have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, wherever it is. All you ever ask of everybody out there is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.